Hi everyone, I'm Elliot Connie, psychotherapist, lecturer, and author. I've written a few books on solution-focused brief therapy. And as I travel, one of the number one questions people ask me is, what do you do after the first session? Solution-focused brief therapy is very known for being a brief approach and sometimes even accomplishing therapeutic goals in as short as one session. And in most literature and in books, they're very clear on how you conduct a first session solution-focused brief therapy. But very often people ask me, what do you do in sessions after the first session? So I want to put together this little seminar, this little webinar for you, this video, so that you will see how we conduct the next session. Now in solution-focused brief therapy, there are two types of sessions. First sessions, and then all the rest of them, which we call follow-up sessions. And I'm going to talk to you about the way we conduct follow-up sessions. So the very first thing we do is review progress. Sorry for my horrible handwriting, but that's just the way I write, I guess. We're going to review progress. And the way you do it is the very first question in a follow-up session is, what's been better? Now, in first sessions, if you're watching this video, you probably know, in first sessions we say, what are your best hopes? Is the first question. Well, in follow-up sessions we say, what's been better? And we do that because we always want the conversation moving in the direction of positivity. We always want the conversation moving in the direction of progress. We always want the conversation moving in the direction of resource. So usually a couple will say, well, or a client will say, well, this has been better or that has been better. But even if a client happens to say nothing's been better, we still want to make sure we're sticking to resource and progress by asking questions like, and in a week where nothing get better, what did you do to prevent it from getting even worse? Or what things were you able to keep the same? Or in a week when things got worse, how did you hold on to just enough hope and resilience to come back to therapy and continue to try? But we're always going to start by reviewing signs of progress, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss how that progress happened, right? So how? I'm going to ask questions like, what did you do to help those things get better? So what role did you play in the progress we've reviewed getting better? In essence, how did you do that? And what about you or the way you lived your life since our first session caused this progress to happen? And then a scaling sort of question. So after a week where that progress took place, where would you say you are on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 being you're at your very best all of the time, and 0 is the exact opposite of that. After the week you just had, where would you say you are after that? And remember, this is not a question of assessment. There is no wrong answer. Whatever the client says, they say. It just allows us to continue to have conversations from a fixed point. So if they say, well, things got worse, so I slid back to a 2, then it's going to allow us to do the next thing in therapy we're going to talk about in a second. Or if they say, wow, after a week like that, man, I'd say I went all the way up to a 6. But after we go through these things, we're going to ask a scaling sort of question. And then, what are your best hopes from our talking today? Now, in solution-focused brief therapy, we always want to have outcome-driven conversations. But now we've reviewed sign of progress, we've talked about how they accomplished it, we ask a scaling sort of question to find out where they are, and now that we're talking today, what are your best hopes? Now, very often people, we have to do like treatment plans in our field that we update every 90 days and things like that. But in solution-focused brief therapy, we're going to treat every single session as an individual entity. I'm not going to assume because your best hopes were X in the first session that they're still X, because they very well might be Y, okay? So when they come back for the next session, I'm going to say, what are your best hopes from our talking today? And then we'll ask more future focus questions. So suppose you guys walked out of here, or you walked out of here after this session, and your best hopes had become realized, causing you to move up on the scale even just a little bit more. What would you notice? What else, what else, what else, what else, what else? But we're always after extreme details of the next sign of change. And then lastly, we'll end the session with feedback and suggestions. So after sitting with you for another session, what I notice about you is ... and would you mind going off and noticing continued signs of progress? And this is how we conduct follow-up sessions in solution-focused brief therapy. So I hope that answers your questions. Very often people have a question, which is valid. They have the question of what do you do in follow-up sessions? Well, this is the way we conduct follow-up sessions in solution-focused brief therapy. So I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.